Bing Crosby taught me to sing. That's what I would look at. I would look at Bing Crosby. My mom liked Bing Crosby. You know, and that's exactly how I thought what singing was. The more I sounded like Bing Crosby at home, the more everybody would swoon. You know, and so that I was very grateful for all my piano and stuff like that. That really helped me. I didn't know what it was going to be helping me with because I didn't really know about musical theater that much. I mean, I knew I loved Barbra Streisand, and I knew I loved some musicals, but I didn't really understand that they were actually musicals or something. And, all of these different theater there with an amazing group of theater, a really burgeoning theater scene that was happening there in Seattle. I didn't know how burgeoning it was because when I moved to New York and 3 years later, in 1980, said, "What the hell are you doing leaving Seattle? We're all leaving New York to go to Seattle," because everybody thought New York was dying. So I had this amazing experience in Seattle where I just thought, well, my gosh, all you do is just do plays. Your whole life is just going from play to play, and I can do this anywhere. I can do this in New York. So I moved to New York. I did indeed get myself a really good restaurant job down in Soho that was connected to this really bad guy, and started making an enormous amount of money, waiting on Andy Warhol and Mary Tyler Moore and everybody in the afternoon, when only only four tables in the place, you know, and lying about all this frickin' goat cheese on the thing that I had no idea what I was dealing with and everything else. And I told my agent, I just can't, and I turned it down. The next day, the phone rang and they said, "Well, would you do it on Broadway?"
Oh, wow!
And I said, "Well, I guess I will do it on Broadway." One of my first auditions in New York, I went to an open casting called Joanna Merlin, original cast of Fiddler, and then a very big casting director all through the 80s and 90s. All the Sondheim stuff. And I went in for something that I wasn't right for, and it was a great audition. And she said, "You know, you really should go across the street there seeing people for Evita. You'd be perfect. And for the chorus call." And I said, "I don't do chorus." Now, Prince Charming and the Wolf is a really hard track because first you do the wolf and you're all this sweaty and this completely thing. And, you know, I have zero hair. They haven't built me a wig or anything. And they're desperately trying to turn me into the Prince Charming and whatever. But I go out there and I go on for the first matinee and I am getting laughs and killing like you just can't believe. Everybody's coming up to me and saying, "Oh my God, you're fabulous. Where'd you study? Who are you? You're just amazing. And you're just killing it. You're just killing it." You know, it's that Sondheim heard you're so good. He's going to come see the show tonight. So there is the evening performance. There I'm going on again for Prince Charming and the Wolf, and everybody is just saying you're killing it. I was raised to be charming, not sincere. Screams and hollers, you know, everything else. And I think my head just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and as the show is going on, you know, I just keep thinking everything is going just splendidly, and everybody in the cast is being so sweet. And I'm sitting in my own dressing room, you know, because you're sitting there, and you're sitting in a box thing, and I get a knock on the door. "Hello? It's Steve." I go and I open the door. "He's not a fool. He's not a fop. He's just a regular guy." And he walks away.
Oh.
How did you deal with growing older in the business?
I got fatter, and that helped me get other roles. I've always been a character man with this deep voice. Where's Josh?
Yeah.
You know, right.
It's true.
I got you.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's true.
You know, and I would spend, but I didn't have your dancing talent that would have carried me through all of these years, and knew that when I would get older, I would turn into be able to do all of these different kinds of things. And I think I thought I was going to get that full Monty, and I didn't get that full Monty, and I was so distraught about it that I didn't care at all about this stupid South Pacific audition that I went to the next day. And because I didn't care and stood still and just, you know, said whatever, and they thought I was absolutely perfect as Harbison. So because I was completely listening and reacting and and to never stop talking. You know, that's what I try to do as much as possible. That the Phil Bosco approach, where you never stop talking, you never pause to act, you say the words, and if you feel like you can act inside of what you're saying, then that will drive the scene and that will teach the scene. But if you don't, and then that gives you a chance to listen and react newly to what you're hearing, and then you never stop talking. You never stop saying the words again until you can complete your mission. So everything gets driven all the time. So you're ahead of the audience. But I mean, I never missed work. The discipline of work was what saved me. It's the only thing the only reason I'm alive is because I worked. But because I worked, I would never miss a show. But I didn't have to do 18 Russian splits in the show. So I didn't have to do that, you know. And I was a baritone, and so I could drink scotch and smoke cigarettes all day long and still sing, you know. I didn't have to sing like a 19-year-old. Now in this show, I have to sing like a freaking 19-year-old up there, which I've never had to do. So now I couldn't live like that and sing this show, like my backstage screaming. But for what I would normally have to do, I could do whatever I want. For years, my warm-up was a Snickers bar and a cigarette, you know. Well, keeping things interesting on stage every night is more about that, trying to re-drive it, re-listen to it, rehear it,